Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Who's Views. Welcome back to Who's Views. And this is Chit Chat. And yes, this is another in our semi-regular shows where I get to meet and have a good old chit chat with some other fans. And I'm delighted that in this edition, here he is. Yes, it's the one and only TARDIS Spider. Hello, mate.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good evening. Good afternoon. Welcome. That's what we say. How are you?
Just Jim Dandy.
Oh, that's a new one.
Oh, well, it's an old one, but it's one I use often. It gets a lot of smiles.
I'm sure it. Well, you're looking well. You're looking well. How's life with you?
Hot, but things are going well. I'm losing weight, so that's always good.
Yeah, that's great news. Yeah.
Though we did go out to hibachi restaurant last night, so
right,
had a grand time. Been watching some Doctor Who.
Yeah, what have you been watching?
Well, of course, I watched the Ark in Space last week.
Yeah, that's something we reviewed. We've reviewed that on Hughes Views Reviews. So you watched that, didn't you? Yeah.
And I've got part 1 of Curse of Fenric under my belt for this week.
Okay.
And I watch a lot of YouTube, so I keep up with every YouTuber I can get a hold of.
Oh, that's good news. And the brilliant thing about these days is, there's a lot of YouTube stations now and channels and people to watch and all this, and it is like it's a sort of community that's growing here, and it's great because you're getting all these alternative voices and stuff. It reminds me sometimes of the old fanzine days and stuff like that. It seems to have moved on now into all visual.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I subscribe to 60 or 70 YouTubers.
Wow.
Well, and like you said, I know you through the chats.
Yeah.
I get into several chats a week on a regular schedule. And so I know people from Australia to Israel because of Doctor Who YouTube.
And that's the brilliant thing about it, isn't it? It's just wonderful. And it just shows. I've said this before, but it's really weird. As a British person who's had Doctor Who in his life all his life, it still is amazing to me that we've got people that love this show out with the UK, and that I can speak to people around the world now about our love for Doctor Who, and I can't get over it. It's amazing. This tin pot little show that we fell in love with as kids is everywhere.
Well, not as a kid for me, as we said earlier this week to each other.
Yeah.
I really am jealous that I never got to play Doctor Who as a child.
Yeah.
I mean, I was 25 when I found Doctor Who.
And how did you discover it? Was it the PBS channels or something like? Yeah.
A friend of mine told me to check this show out on Saturday night on PBS. So I tuned in, and it was a life-changing experience. Saturday nights were no longer going out. Saturday night was when I stayed home to watch Doctor Who.
And this was you at 25?
At 25. And just recently divorced, a bachelor, having a grand old time. But
crikey, you started early, didn't you?
What, marriage? No.
Yeah.
22. I met my first wife at 22.
Goodness me.
Well, no, right. By the time I was 21, I'd graduated high school and served 3 years in the Army.
Yeah.
Got out of the Army and wasn't old enough to go drink.
Well, that's certain states in America. I think it's slightly different over here.
Yeah, well, I'm old enough now. It doesn't matter anywhere.
Oh no. Yeah. So listen, what those Saturday nights when your friend said to you, look, you've got to watch this crazy show from the United Kingdom. What was your first story?
Robots of Death. Excuse me, Robots of Death.
Robots of Death, right?
And I want to say 15 minutes into it, or just before he climbed into the chute and was buried by the dust, because we didn't get episodes. I didn't even know it was an episode show for 10 years. So we had the little omnibus versions. So I said, who is this man? And he's the luckiest person alive, because I had no idea he was a Time Lord. I had missed the 2 cubes part to open the story, so I had no idea, and it hooked me. So I started with it, and I kept going and kept going. And while they showed it in order, they were all the shorter versions, and we started right in the middle of Baker. So I got some of the best to start with.
Yeah.
And then about a year and a half in, the tour that went around the United States for PBS came.
Oh, of
And
course. Okay. Yeah, the exhibition.
right, we met John Pertwee and Elizabeth Sladen.
Oh, how lovely.
Yeah. So I was thoroughly hooked at this point. As you know, I am a Pertwee fan through and through. Uh,
Uh-huh.
but it was great. So it grew and grew. Uh, Not knowing anyone besides Walter who watched Doctor Who. We watched the movie when it came out live together.
Yeah.
Um, and then there was nothing but me watching it on my homemade VHS tapes for years. I didn't even know it was for sale until like 1991 or 92.
Mm.
And I started until I got all the VHS tapes, and then I had to change to all the DVD
The
tapes.
DVDs, yeah.
And I'm
And now we're
dragging my
doing
feet on
all the
Blu-ray, to tell
Blu-rays.
you the truth.
Hey?
Yeah, I've bought them so many times already.
No, yeah.
Have I
Yeah.
lost you there, or is that
No,
my
not at all. No, we're okay. We're cool. So listen, I was going to
screen
ask you
there?
what you mentioned there about, you started with Robots of Death Story. I'm interested. So that station wasn't showing them as episodes. It was showing them as one continual story. So they were just pushing the episodes together, were they?
Right. So yeah, what you call the omnibus version.
Yeah.
That's what the only version we had. But we had a strange clue in the middle of Underworld when the spaceship crashed into the planet.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, when they edited it together, we got some voice of a narrator, and he said something short that wasn't supposed to be in there.
Really?
And that was the only time I ever got any kind of clue that it was episodical, because they were all just 90-minute movies, 9 o'clock to 10:30 every Saturday night.
9 o'clock in
So
the evening. Crikey,
yeah,
that's not a very Doctor Who time over here at all.
well, it follows an hour of Are You Being Served? So hey, good leading show.
That could have worked back in the day. So what did they do with the 6 episode stories? Did they edit a lot out?
Well, they would occasionally they would have those. They would edit them down, and they would go over the 90-minute mark, but not a lot. I don't. We didn't have the war games because our PBS started with Pertwee. And again, we didn't know that. In fact, I stumbled across William Hartnell on Mississippi Public Television on a Saturday afternoon, and that would have been the time meddler for my first Hartnell story.
Oh, good story. Yeah.
Yeah, good first story. So
Yeah.
I made a notebook, and my kids think it's the greatest thing to this day. I've got notes on every episode, and
Have you?
this guy played in this episode. He's also in this story. Because I don't know the actors. When a new Doctor comes out, they're all new to me. And the actors, when I watch TV now, I go, oh, he did a Doctor Who. I mean,
Yeah.
I know them for their Doctor Who work, not their other stuff.
Yeah. The thing is, at the moment, TARDIS Spider, any new doctors over here are unknown to all of us in Britain as well, because they're getting younger and younger and younger, and they're on more, on shows that none of us really know because they're all on a different channel to the main. Oh, it's bizarre now these days.
Yeah, it's. Of course, I have no idea who Shooty is. I tried to watch Sex and Education.
Sex Education, yeah.
Yeah, but it was a little bolder than my taste in television.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So I didn't watch it. And I dropped Netflix a year or so ago. I stream all my television.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I basically watch British TV, but it's not new stuff. It's stuff that they air on BritBox or Acorn, or I watch it on YouTube too. But I do love your British TV. I got to tell you that.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that, because it's good to know, because I watch a lot of the old stuff as well. Mm-hmm. On the what I call the repeat channels, but they're satellite channels and all this sort of stuff, all this sort of thing. And I watch a load of the old stuff that I grew up with or missed out on, because I didn't really watch a lot of 90s telly, just simply because I was working and I was out I was partying a lot, so I didn't see a lot. So I'm discovering 90s television now, and
Mhm.
it's all new to me. And some of it's terrible, but some of it's really, really quite enjoyable. And you just get into this, you know. So it's nice to know that British television still, I mean, it's classic stuff. A lot of our older television, good,
Yeah.
solid entertainment, and it's good that I know that people like yourself over there are picking up on that and being entertained by it because that's what it's supposed to do.
Well, the Britcoms were very popular for decades on Saturday night PBS. So I
Right.
saw Are You Being Served, Keeping Up Appearances, Red Dwarf, John Cleese, what was it?
Faulty
Faulty
Towers.
Towers,
Yeah.
Good Neighbors, lots of those types of titles. We would get an hour of those before Doctor Who and Red Dwarf after Doctor Who.
Gosh,
Now,
no wonder you were staying in on a Saturday night.
yeah. Oh, yeah. My daughter once said to me, "You let us watch Red Dwarf when we were 4 or 5." I said, "You
Yeah.
didn't understand the jokes."
It's a good point. It
Yeah,
goes over
well,
there. Just watch the flying ships and everything like this. You're fine.
and- but yeah, so my children have a taste for British television also.
Uh-huh.
So
So
they,
listen, we know that you're a big Pertwee fan. So
Mhm.
what actually about John and his interpretation of the Doctor got to you to the point where you are a massive, massive Doctor Who fan, as we know, because we started the show with this. There you are in costume. We all know you're going around cosplaying as the third Doctor. There you are with your trusty sonic screwdriver there, which is the accurate one as
That's
well.
right.
So I mean, you look fantastic. You look really
Thank you.
good in these things. So what was it about John that grabbed your attention when your first Doctor was Tom?
Well, meeting him, of course, he was the first doctor. He's the only doctor I've met.
Oh, is he? Right.
Yeah, yes, and the the stories and the unit family.
Yeah.
Okay, they
Yeah.
John was such a gentleman. He may
Yes.
have been a sly devil and frisky with the ladies, but he was never less than a gentleman to me. and
No, he
and
was.
I,
He
I
was.
I liked the dandy. I do like the dandy because I have such a fun time in the. I try to get more people to dress up with me. We're
Yeah.
going to have a good time. Dress up. You can't get embarrassed. You're having fun.
Uh-huh.
So dragging my wife into it is a little difficult.
Yeah. Which is she playing Liz or Joe or Sarah? What do you make her wear?
Well, she wears a '50s cocktail dress
Oh, very nice.
so that she can. It's pink with black polka dots, so that it pops with the velvet jacket.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
She's just some young chick I picked up in the '50s.
No. I like that. I hope she doesn't see this episode, and if she does, I hope she doesn't mind us being
She,
called that.
she does not watch. She does not watch my videos. I drag her in. I drag her in every once in a while when I think one's good. Now she
Right?
subscribes to my channel.
Yeah.
She subscribes to your channel. She just doesn't
Hey.
know it.
No.
And I recommend everyone subscribe on their wife's computer.
Yeah. If only so they can keep an eye on you. That's the big thing about that. That's brilliant. So when did you meet John Liz? Was this 85, 86 time?
85. It was 85 or 86. The North American tour. They brought a semi trailer museum. They
That's
brought
right.
Bessie, a
Yes.
TARDIS, K9.
Yeah.
It was full of things. A Dalek, a Sea Devil's mask. The mask of Sutek the Destroyer stands out because it was just such a wonderful piece.
Yeah.
Uh, so I was hooked beyond hooked at that point, and free autographs, by the way.
That's what they used to do.
I know, but of course we had to pay a ticket to get into this event
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
PBS fundraiser. But so we did that, but I always liked Pertwee, and I think Pertwee had the best life. If you think about it, what he had, none of the other doctors had, was he enjoyed food, he enjoyed wine, he had friends, not just traveling companions. He had friends who would go do things with. They went to the theater. If you think about it, in the Green Death, him and the Brigadier.
Yeah. Nick, yeah.
He went and did things with friends. None of the other doctors have friends. They have the companion, but that home that Pertwee had
Yeah.
allowed him to have more.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
even just being a coat and cape, it was difficult to put all that part together.
Was he in costume when you met him?
Yes, the blue jacket that he wore in his retirement days, he was
Right.
in that. I think he was open collared that night.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
We didn't have smartphones, so I don't have a picture.
Oh, that's a shame, isn't it? Because that whole thing about the tour, the USA tour exhibition, that that was a big launch here, obviously in the UK. Because I remember vividly the press pictures about this tour. I mean, it was launched by Colin, Nicola, and Janet Fielding with JNT,
Mm-hmm.
and they did the big launch there. Andrew Skilleter did that beautiful artwork on the side of this van. And I remember it going off to America thinking the American fans are going to love this. I didn't realize it was going to be away for as long as it was, because it really did tour, which is great for the show. I'm sure it contributed to bringing people like yourself more into the
Mm-hmm.
fold, if you like, in promoting it. But I tell you something that actually you should keep a lookout for as well. Real Time Pictures are producing their next on the Doctor and Display series
Mm-hmm.
about the USA tour
That
and the
looks.
trailer. So that should be out any time when this is dropped, I'm sure. You
Mhm.
know, so that's something for you to look at, because that'll bring back memories for you.
Yes, it's my number one Doctor Who moment. Is meeting a doctor. I mean, we just
Yeah,
have few opportunities. Now, I had a chance earlier this year at
yeah,
Pensacon. We had 5 doctors in the area at Pensacon,
yes, yeah,
but it was massive. That was the biggest Doctor Who event I've ever seen, and there were I did videos about it because I do cosplay videos too. But
yeah.
there were dozens of doctors around. There were Daleks. There was a young boy who was as Davros. He was chairbound himself, so it was good to see him as Davros. So they were everywhere, but the lines were huge. It was starting to warm up, and
Yeah,
it gets very hot here.
yeah.
We don't have winter, but we have 4 months of misery this time of year.
Uh, well, I'll send you some of our winter over when it comes. I'll learn you.
I grew up in the north. I have no desire. I've seen I've seen 4 feet of snow. I don't know.
Oh god, I hate it. I hate it. So tell me about so you went to the convention at the beginning of
Mhm.
2023. Tell me a bit more about that. I mean, how was it for you to, when you got there? You're saying it was busy there, but tell me everything.
Okay, yeah, I went on day one. It was at Pensacon, Pensacola, Florida,
Yeah.
and I would have there. Jeez, thousands and thousands of people. I had to
That's
walk.
amazing.
I had to walk 30 minutes from where I found a paid parking spot back to the Civic Center for the convention.
So tell me, was this just a purely Doctor Who convention?
No, no, this is a comics con that
Oh,
they
I
hold in
see. Right. Okay.
Pensacola. Yeah, they had 57 different guests through the
That's a lot
three
of gas.
days. Oh God.
Wow.
And every genre you can think of. I mean, they had the Beaver from Leave It to Beaver, he was there. All the way through anime characters, Doctor Who's, uh, movies, writers. 50 some celebrities were brought in. I mean, there were 10, at least 10 Doctor Who celebrities.
Yeah, there was quite a
It
lot of them
was
over there, wasn't it? Yeah.
Colin, it was Peter Davison, Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy, Paul McGann, Eccleston, they said was coming. Um, Perry, I can't think of her
Nicola
name off
Bryant.
the top of my
Yeah.
head. Nicola Bryant,
Yeah.
Ace was there.
Yeah. Sophie.
The Master from the movie,
Eric Roberts. Yeah.
Eric Roberts. I'm off the top of my head, I can't remember, but there was that many. There was at
Amazing.
10, and they did a lot of stuff. They did multiple days. That they went to the beach, which Nicola
Yeah.
Bryant really loved because it was warm that day. Well,
I bet she did.
and it was we have beautiful white sandy beaches, and the
Oh,
Gulf at our part of the nation is just that greenish blue water that you
oh,
love. So yes,
lovely.
so if you're free, come down here in the winter and enjoy it because we have
That can
ideal.
be arranged. That can be arranged. A bit of sun instead of what we get. Yeah, that could be looked into.
Your days are short. Our days are very long. Your days are very short. So,
Well, they are here. Yeah, I mean, here you'll get up in the morning. Say you get up at 6, 7, even sometimes 8:30, and it'll be dark. And then you go and do your day, and it's dark by 4 o'clock in our winters.
in our winters, 7 to 5, maybe. It's light
And warm. And
most
azure
days.
blue
Yes.
seas,
It
sandy
we
white
had.
beach. Yeah, I'm coming down. I'm coming across. That's
Oh,
it.
oh
That's
yes, and the Cajun food is wonderful. The seafood is wonderful, and of course Mardi Gras. You have to come in the time of year that we have Mardi Gras
it. Yeah.
because there's balls every night. There's
And you go dressed up as the third Doctor to Mardi Gras
yeah,
as well, don't you?
to the parades. Yes, I could
Yes.
not go to a ball as the third Doctor. It's
Okay.
costume de rigueur, white tie and tails only.
Oh,
Floor-length
right.
ballroom gowns for the
Yeah.
ladies only. They
Oh.
will not let you in if you don't have the tails. If you have a black tie, they won't let you in.
Oh, wow.
But you get
Wow.
into the ball and there's dancing and there's drinks and there's foods till the middle of the night after you've attended the parade that they've thrown for the public.
I'm
And they
surprised
pro-
everybody's got the energy after the parade to go and have a ball, to be quite
well, they
honest.
well the people on the floats are drunk as a skunk. I won't tell you. And they're all in those reveler costumes that you see.
Oh, no,
You've
really?
seen the clip of the Doctor Who float that I have, right?
I have. Yeah, you showed me that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
It looks great, by the way.
there's 10 or 12 of those in every parade,
Yeah.
and it's different themes, but they throw stuff to us.
Money?
The beads, doubloons, candy, moon pies.
What's a moon pie?
It's a graham cracker cookie with marshmallow in between, coated in icing, usually chocolate or vanilla or strawberry or banana.
That sounds
And
awful.
it is. And well, children in the South grew up drinking an RC cola and eating a moon pie.
Oh, God. Right, okay.
I'm not a Southerner by birth, so I don't care.
Listen, what's the reaction from the public to you in your costume and the floats when you go to Mardi Gras, or when you do, like, you do the events at the public library and stuff like this? What's the reaction there? I mean, where is Doctor Who right now?
I've been accused of being a magician instead of Doctor Who more
Well, I
often
can
than
see
not.
that. I can see
The
that.
Kate, the Kate.
Uh,
The people that know me will holler out, "Hey, Doctor!"
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but I also, when I'm filming, I'm set up on a tripod, and I have either a banner at events or a sign from a tripod that says TARDIS Spider. And who are you and what are you doing? Well, I'm having a good time. It's Mardi Gras, and everybody's just downtown. At Mardi Gras, I just fit right in. You can dress however you want and do whatever you want to do at Mardi Gras. No one will question or ask.
Yeah.
Usually at the events, they know I'm coming as Doctor Who because I come to talk to them about Doctor Who. I'm introducing people to Doctor Who usually on the events. Now, the thing in Foley is an annual event. I saw it in the paper and went one year, and now I co-host. This will be my 4th year of co-hosting it. And I come and I bring all my Doctor Who memorabilia.
Oh, yeah.
The library has a TARDIS. It's a good library.
What, the police box? They've actually built a police box.
Actually, it's a refrigerator box.
Explain this.
Well, they took a refrigerator box and painted it and dressed it up as a TARDIS. So that's their TARDIS. So they can pick it up.
Is it still working? Can you get, a sandwich or something from it?
We're really, it doesn't get touched because it is just a big cardboard box.
Right. Okay. I see.
Now, I have an assortment of TARDISes.
Yeah.
From this to 4 foot, and I towed a lot of those down there, and all the Eagle Moss and my screwdrivers, and I set up a film background, and we talk Doctor Who, we reenact scenes from Doctor Who. I put it in some scripts. We eat jammy Dodgers and jelly babies, which most people have never even heard of.
No, well, yeah, well, that was always the way back in the day, because you guys in America never got jelly babies, did you?
Not till the World Market has them, and a high-end grocery store, Publix, has both. Also,
Okay.
they
Right.
have a very small British food sections. It's mostly candy bars and cookies,
Yeah, and biscuits and stuff like that. Yeah.
biscuits. Yeah, I said cookies. Yes,
Cookies here, its own world over here. Biscuits,
Tim Tam.
biscuits are there. Yeah, biscuits are there, and cookies are harder sort of type biscuits. They're
Right.
slightly different. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, a biscuit here is a non-yeast bread.
Is it?
It's a bread about that big. Its ingredients are shortening, flour, and milk. That's it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That's a breakfast biscuit here, or dinner biscuit. I like biscuits. It shows. Uh,
No, but you're doing well on that, on losing that weight, so that's
I,
good.
I, I've lost 30 pounds. Yeah.
Well done, you.
I
Yeah, yeah,
was.
yeah. You'll need some new velvet jackets soon. Where'd you get
That's
your
the
velvet
goal.
jackets, by the way?
That's the goal. Is my birthday is in November. Is
Yeah.
to buy a new jacket for my birthday.
Where are you getting them? Where'd you get them from in America?
Uh, well, there's a lot of searching. I found a gentleman's store that has them.
Oh,
They
okay.
have the wine colored. They have a black. They have a blue and a green, but they're the wrong colors of blue and green.
Oh.
And I found out that ordering shirts online is an ordeal because sizes aren't the same everywhere.
No,
So
no.
I'll probably get a black jacket like Pertwee wore in the first season.
Yeah, it's very smart.
Uh, but the green is a very bright emerald green, and the blue's almost fluorescent, and that wouldn't work.
Yeah,
I would,
that's more what they're wearing now, isn't it, rather than what they wore then?
yeah, I would like the blue that he wore in the Dinosaur Invasion. I like that one.
Yeah, it's a sort of it's a sort of royal blue, really, that isn't it? I
Mm-hmm.
wonder if there's anywhere in the United Kingdom we can put you in touch with. If you know anywhere
Yeah.
that can sell the velvet jackets and get them abroad, let us know. Let TARDIS Spider know.
Of course, if I got the green, I could get a new cape, get a brown cape.
Oh, he's off. He's off.
And the
Get it all.
capes,
Where are you getting them from?
his historical emporium. Now
As you do.
they most of their capes are wool because they're
Ooh.
Inverness capes, but they have three different two cotton, a brown and a black, and a satin with a red lining. Now I would like the red lining, but
Yeah.
I don't like the look of a satin cape. I'm not trying to look like a Halloween costume.
Well, no, you're not Dracula, and Pertwee wouldn't have worn a satin cape.
No, he wore I
Yeah,
assume cotton, but it had the purple lining, the
yeah.
royal purple.
And he had a tweed one at one point as well, didn't he?
He had a tweed
Yeah,
one. Of course, he had the big ugly one that he wore in the Five Doctors.
yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah.
yeah, no, my daughter makes clothing, and I bought her the pattern
Oh,
for a cape, but she hasn't been inspired to make one yet.
all right.
Well, she
You
makes
might, you might,
historical clothing, so
you might have to pay her.
oh, I don't mind. It's just you got to want to do it because things take so long. And but I would like a gray one if you want to know the truth. But I could never wear a wool one here at all, ever.
You'd be too warm.
Uh yeah. I mean I only get to wear the cotton one 4 times a year tops. And that's at night at the parades. Unless I'm doing an event in a very heavily air conditioned place. But I
Yeah,
don't need it with the coat on. Can't wear
yeah,
it to a con. It's too hot
yeah. And then you'd have to carry it around with you as well, wouldn't you?
and it's big.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun. So it's buying all the screwdrivers. I was able to buy some of the screwdrivers at the peak of the 50th anniversary locally. Some were from Amazon. The My most expensive one was a gift from my wife. I had the remote control 11th Doctor also.
Oh, lovely. Yeah. Did it work?
Oh yeah, it's up there. Yeah, I had it
Yeah.
hooked on my VCR when it first came. That's how long I've had it. I had it hooked up to the VCR because that's where I watched Doctor Who at the time.
Okay. Did you collect all the the VHS tapes?
Yes, I did manage to get all the VHS tapes, and then
Yeah.
again, I just finished getting all the DVDs.
Yeah.
Some of them were difficult, so now I have a
Yeah.
multi-region player, so I can get them from you over there.
Yeah.
So my collection is a mix of American and UK DVDs
Yeah.
and other shows I watched that I can't get here. I can't get Blake 7 on DVD here.
Why?
They don't sell it here.
Oh,
So I have a UK version of Blake 7.
yeah.
I
Is
have
it
a
the
U.
season box sets you've got?
Hmm?
Is it the season box sets you've got for Blake 7?
Yeah, the
Oh, he's opening the TARDIS.
this you can see him. No. Yeah, this one's science fiction. That's not Doctor Who. This set here.
Oh, yes, you've got that one.
Yeah,
Nice,
two
nice, nice.
volumes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is science fiction, and there's the Red Dwarf. Uh, uh, I'll- I'm rewatching Last of the Summer Wine right now.
Oh, goodness me.
I love that. I'm sorry, I'm old. I love that show.
Which series are you on?
20. I made it up to 20 on this watch.
Oh, you've only got another 50 to go then, yeah.
Hold on. I watched it all the way through once, and then I started again because
What?
seasons 1 through 8 are available on BritBox.
Okay.
9 through 19 were available on Amazon for a while, but none of the later ones were available except on YouTube, cropped down to avoid copyright. So I bought the entire series, and I watched it all the way through once. And now it's the one that sits in the DVD player when I need something for 30 minutes. I fire up Last of the Summer Wine.
Okay, well, fair enough. I'm glad you'll have to visit in Britain and go to the parts of Yorkshire they film that in, because you can.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've told you I want to sit with a pub with you one day and lift a glass.
And we'll get a ploughman's lunch, which you will adore.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll watch the world go by. It would be brilliant over in that part of Yorkshire where they filmed, because it's gorgeous down there.
Or
It's
anywhere. I love the English countryside.
yeah.
I've been hooked. I mean, except I would not visit Midsummer County. No way am I going to that county.
You're probably very wise. And Jersey, avoid Jersey.
Jersey. Well, I think I'm while my family thinks I live in a big city, I would have probably avoid London too.
Well, I think we're all avoiding London at the moment, but not for fictional reasons. That's me getting a bit political.
No.
Yeah, with Jersey, of course, was Bergerac. Have you ever come across that one?
Yes, I watched
Yeah.
the first season of that. That's on one
Yeah.
of the streaming services that I
Yeah.
subscribe to. He's very
Okay.
young in that one.
John Nestle. Yeah. Louise Jameson crops up eventually as well.
Oh, does she?
Yes, she
I
plays his
thought-
girlfriend.
Oh, okay. I didn't have that. I did a couple videos on Leela and did a small touch on her background. Yes, one of them I ranked her stories.
Oh, okay. What came out top?
Her first story, but these rankings are based on how deadly was Leela in this story.
Right.
What was her body count? She had 5 kills in her first story.
Mm.
Some stories she didn't have any kills, but she had most stories. There was something. My favorite is from the Invasion of Time.
Yeah.
When she has the Sontaran turn around and she throws the knife into his probic vent.
That's right. Yeah.
The doctor says, "What a prodigious throw! Is that good, doctor?" Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know? I remember that being screened, and there was a slight, not a overkill thing, but there was a slight brouhaha about this from certain elements in Britain, because we shouldn't be showing the children how to throw knives and that sort. Yeah, but we were all like, "Yeah, she got him." We didn't see anything like that as kids. We were just like, "Get him, Leela." We loved all that. It didn't incite any violence into us, really. It was just, we knew that this was a Sontaran. It wasn't real, and neither was she.
We watched war movies and cowboy movies growing up.
Yeah,
that didn't make us go out and be mass murderers.
No. Might be a bit different today, mind
you. Richard Green as Robin Hood was a boyhood hero.
Oh, really? There's a name.
Conrad Veidt as William Tell.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. Well, I'm aware of it. I've never, I think the episodes are all gone as well, aren't they?
I have the DVD of it because it's one of the ones that I grew up with. We would play William Tell. We would play Robin Hood. Dad, we learned how to make bows and arrows because Dad taught us. I'm from the generation where we made a lot of toys growing up.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
we made bows and arrows with sticks and strings and played Robin Hood.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
but you didn't get to play Doctor Who though, as you
now,
said, and that's such
yeah.
a shame. Let me tell you about that because here from the '60s onwards, and even when I was at school in the '70s, kids loved to play Daleks in the and you would do this sort of exterminate, and you would run around and chasing, and it was just. I remember being chased by Zygons in the playground.
Oh, phew.
Yeah, yeah. Some of the guys going, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was all happy
It,
days there.
I can something, a piece of pipe for your sonic screwdriver, or a
We had
pen.
twigs. We all
Twigs.
had
Yeah.
twigs. Yeah, because you couldn't get Doctor Who toys like that back then. Nobody ever brought out a sonic screwdriver in the United Kingdom well until the series got back.
No,
You know.
because I went to Who North America this year.
Oh, with Keith. How was that
Yes.
for you?
Everyone who lives in the United States needs to go.
I'd love to go there as well.
I
I'd love to
kissed
pop
the
in on Keith
ground
and go
before I
hello.
walked in. I
Yeah.
got to the door. I got in there and kissed the ground.
I bet he appreciated that, didn't
He let me make a videos and do an interview,
Yeah.
and I spent a small fortune, but hey, it was
I bet
worth
you
it.
did. Yeah.
I have the big eagle moss Tom Baker up there.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
He stands about that tall
Yeah.
from City of Death.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
really
Yeah.
it's really nice. It's in a case. I'd
Yeah.
show it to you, but I'd have to move it.
Oh, don't worry. So, how long did you stay in the Who shop, Who and A for?
Well, we were in transit from Alabama to Michigan. I think we did about 2.5, 3 hours. My wife was very bored.
Oh, bless.
She,
Yeah.
the museum end is nice, and the store end is nice. Uh, they were not selling. In fact, the only Jody characters were in the discount bin.
Well.
Yeah, they sell a lot
Yeah.
of stuff. His number one seller is the magazine. He said,
Still, really, that's
"Yeah,
interesting.
there's a lot of merchandise. Some that I have because my wife has been kind to me and buys me Doctor Who merchandise on the events we have in life. I get the
Oh.
Amazing Mystery Box from the UK.
Oh, of course. Oh, yes, I'm aware of this thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, it's wonderful. I
Mm,
have my autographed pictures. All came, not all of them, but most of them came from there.
yeah.
Uh, most of these eagle moss you see behind me,
Yeah.
there's no place to buy that stuff here. There was 10 years ago. You could buy them at most of the uh, entertainment places, but
Yeah.
there's absolutely nothing anywhere. She
So,
had
what
a hard.
happened? What's happened?
They lost. No one's watching it.
Yeah.
The hardcore fans are the only ones that even know that it's still on.
Wow.
I don't see any news about Doctor Who outside of YouTube. I mean, and I'm one of those people that delves into it, but it's never in the. They haven't talked about Doctor Who on the entertainment channels that I watch since Power of the Doctor. Nothing. They didn't mention the date of the specials, the previews, the Underwater Menace. None of that stuff's mentioned anywhere outside of the Doctor Who channels. So
Mm.
if you're not following Doctor Who, you have no idea. I mean,
It makes,
go
I
ahead.
was going to. I mean, with what you're saying there, with no publicity at all, how do you think they're going to advertise? Because it's changed this time around. Because we all know this thing's going to be on Disney. So I mean, that means if it's just going to be if the new 60th anniversary trilogy of episodes and then the new Shooty Gatwa series are going to be exclusive to Disney over there
Mm-hmm.
and everywhere outside the UK.
Yes.
How do you think they're going to advertise that? Because they'll only surely advertise it on the Disney Channel.
They advertise some Disney things on YouTube in the ads that are on YouTube. I've
Okay.
seen Disney, not many, but you're right. Disney doesn't advertise outside of the Disney realm. I think they believe everybody wants and needs Disney, and that's not true.
You
I
reckon?
don't have Disney now, and I'm debating with the price increase if I want to get it.
Yeah, because I heard that.
A 27% increase.
That's quite a lot of money for, and that's monthly subscription, isn't it?
Right. That's the ad-free tier. It's jumped from $10.99 a month to $13.99 a month.
Ooh,
They
okay.
still have a level with ads for $7.99, but they have a lot of ads, I've been told. Enough that it's annoying.
Wow.
So
Okay.
they're also going to crack down on password sharing. That's
Yes. Well,
popular.
yeah. I mean, Netflix did that as well, didn't they? We've had that over here as well in the UK, where they've put
Mhm.
out publicity to say, we're not having this anymore because they want the money, don't they? They want the subscriptions.
I do it now. My daughters and I both stream.
Yeah.
Laura and I split the cost of Amazon together. I get Prime and Acorn. They give me Peacock, and we swap channels back between in the family, but it's not the
Yeah.
same residence. So I'm sure that'll catch up with us eventually.
Oh, it's bound to. It's
Yeah.
bound to. I don't know. It just seems to be a bit odd that, when it comes to Doctor Who, which has to, especially from what people like yourself are telling me, it has to rebuild its audience, not just out of the UK, but in the UK. So it's got to
Yeah.
rebuild its audience, and it's not as if they're going to put it on somewhere that can be accessible.
No. I thought Pensacon was going to be the start of Doctor Who everywhere this year.
Yeah,
Now, I know that they moved to other events around the country, but I haven't heard of any of them. And again, I like cosplay, so I watch cosplay videos of
yeah.
people that go, and I've seen no one dressed as Doctor Who or a Doctor Who character in any of the cosplay videos I've watched outside of mine.
I mean, it's something we've been hearing about for the last few years now, isn't it? About how, I mean, it got to a certain height, Doctor Who, didn't it? And it just seems to have gone whoosh right down there. But I
Instantly.
just don't understand why they're not making it the David Tennant return for the 3 episodes and the 60th anniversary. I mean, I just don't get it. I don't understand why they're not pushing that already over there to try and find that audience again.
I don't know, because David Tennant is still considered the favorite among all the female fans that I talk to. They
Right.
all love David Tennant. He's cute. Whatever.
Right. Yeah.
He so they still love him. I think they lost him with that after the 60th anniversary. It just disappeared over here
Yeah.
because the books stopped coming out. Because in the 60th anniversary at Books a Million, there was a table full of books, a
Well, the
wide
50th, you mean? Your 50th.
50th. Yes, I mean I have the vault. I
Yeah.
have I have half a dozen books that are the tabletop style books, and they're all from that period. But if you go to Books a Million today, there was one book in the entire store.
I have to tell you, mate, it's the same here. To be honest, I mean, I mean, this anniversary year, 2023. I keep saying it's been a damn squid. I mean, we haven't had that much, and if it hadn't been really for the independents, people like Telos, Ten Alps, Real Time, they've been really supporting the Doctor's 60th by producing really good material. And they're three amongst the many, but they've been producing really good stuff coming out. And although we've had BBC Audios doing something every single month, the Blu-rays, obviously we've only had one announced this year. We haven't had the standard Blu-rays coming through. It's been a bit of a letdown for me.
But we don't get Doctor Who magazine in the stores anymore.
No. Okay.
Nothing. I mean, even that stopped. Now I quit. I quit buying it because there was nothing in it.
Yeah.
I'm paying $12 to $13 for a magazine that I read in 20, 30 minutes.
Mm.
I mean, the last thing that was useful that I got out of Doctor Who magazine was an article they did about the Country Time Lemonade photo shoot with Tom Baker.
Right. Okay.
So that's been 3 years, maybe.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, that was interesting, and it was worth it because I could use the information, but I don't need to listen to them blow smoke up each other's backside. That's all they ever do in that magazine. Oh,
Yeah.
everything new is wonderful. Everything's so wonderful. Nothing's wrong. Everything's wonderful. That's all they say.
Yeah.
And yes, it's a fantastic show. I love the classic series. I like the new series. Uh, I can't say I like. I haven't watched Jodie at all yet.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. That's cool.
I am as a completist. I don't know how long I'll wait to buy the complete set when it goes on sale far enough, but
Yeah.
I can't tell you that it'll get unwrapped.
No, no, no,
I
no.
have Paramount Plus and I haven't watched it yet. I mean, that's where we would watch it now.
Oh, is it? Right. Oh,
It's
so
either HBO Max. Yeah, HBO. I have both of them. I did.
so what will happen? Doctor Who will finish there in what, October or something? That goes over to Disney at a
Yes, and
certain
then we'll
time.
switch over to Disney. Now, they need to do. See, for me, Disney owns ABC, right?
Okay.
And they
I think it
recently
owns
just.
everything now, doesn't it, Tell?
Oh yes, they recently replayed the Little Girl Marvel series on ABC on Saturday night to try to build up a crowd for the upcoming Marvels movie.
Oh, I see. Of
If
course.
they
Right.
have
Okay.
access to Power of the Doctor, if I was ABC and Disney, I would run Power of the Doctor 2 or 3 weeks to a month before they start the specials on Saturday night broadcast ABC TV to try to put it as fish bait out there for the public to see.
Hmm.
But I
Would you?
doubt they'll even do that.
Well, I mean, I'd be worried about that because from what you hear, I mean, I haven't seen it either, but what I hear from other fans, I mean, we all know that that era was, you know, you either like it or you don't like it. But it's been a massive turn off, hasn't it? Let's face it, the ratings plummeted,
Oh,
sales of of merchandise whenever it was around wasn't doing well. The merchandise eventually stopped. You know, over here we know that the ratings decreased every episode. Okay, people tuned in to see the last few minutes of the Power of the Doctor, but you would do because it's a regeneration thing and people knew it was there. I
mhm.
think it was more fans that went back to it. I generally don't believe that the UK public right now really cares
Not at
about
all.
that. But I wouldn't repeat it at all because it would remind people of how bad it was.
Yeah, but it would explain why David Tennant's back.
I
Not
think they're
why,
just going
but
to start that
that he's
fresh, though,
back.
don't you? Don't you think they'll just start it fresh? I mean, you've got this official comic strip running in the Doctor Who magazine, which shows a bit of his time
Really?
between that and actually where he ends up in the specials. Because I
Hmm.
suppose it's supposed to be months later or something, isn't it? I hear from fans. So
Or
I think they'll deal with that there.
maybe they'll run Neil Patrick Harris out on the morning talk shows.
Mm.
He's popular.
Yes, apparently he is over there, isn't he?
He
Yeah,
had
people
a
like him.
he had two different television series, one that ran for like 10 seasons. He's a Broadway actor.
Mm.
He's a very talented actor
Yeah,
and
yeah,
popular. So
yeah.
maybe they'll wheel him out on
I'm
Good
sure they
Morning
will.
America.
I can't see why any of the actors involved with this wouldn't be contracted to say, right, at the time you have to come back and talk about it. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of publicity where they're all interviewed and they can't say anything.
At least on ABC. Maybe they don't have to run to the other networks, but they could an ABC exclusive Doctor Who.
Hmm.
They're not. Maybe they will. You don't know. Maybe the writers' strike will help Doctor Who.
Yes, no, that's it. I was speaking to Chester from Chester's Reviews recently, and he actually said that as well. He said that the writer's strike could benefit Doctor Who now because it's going to be the only new thing that comes through, not just for November, but into next year as well.
Yes.
Um, so I know they've got lots of stuff over there in the bank, as it were, ready to broadcast. That's already to be produced or put out on TV or film. I don't know. I don't know how much they would have, but Doctor Who could be a strong contender, couldn't it?
It's brand new drama, and there's not going to be brand new drama on, well, definitely on network television, and the
Right. Yeah.
streaming platforms. Who knows how much they have back in their catalog or how much they can get from other sources?
Yeah.
But we still have to find them and like them, because remember, with streaming, you have to go look for something.
Yeah.
Growing up, like when we did, you just what's on. Well, that doesn't
Yes.
work with
Yeah.
streaming. To
Yeah.
watch something, okay, I want to watch this. Let's go find it.
Yeah. And if you don't know about it, you can't find it.
That's right. And if you don't have that channel, you're not going to stumble across it at all.
Yeah. So do you think they're assuming that everybody has a Disney Channel over there?
They have, what do they have here? They have 46 million subscribers in the North American branch. That's United States and Canada.
Right.
So so they know that they're in that many homes. Now, I don't know how many television homes there are between the two, but
Wow.
straight
Okay.
Disney Plus, it's out there in 46 million homes if it gets watched. How many homes is that, though? Okay, we've got Disney Plus for the kids, or
Yeah, for the cartoons.
my teenage kids who love Marvel and Star Wars.
Star Wars, yeah.
And then, of course, Disney hasn't had anything new this year successful. Nothing has been successful.
Really?
Every movie has lost money. Every television show has had terrible ratings.
Oof. Doesn't bode well then, does it? Because you're
No,
only going to get 3 Doctor Who's in November,
right?
1 in December,
Mhm.
and then the rest follow in March
Do, do-
2024.
have they announced any days yet?
No, no. I mean, the rumors over here are we do expect obviously November the 23rd to be one of the broadcast dates.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it's going to be difficult. I would start it off on that day, really. I would have part 1 on November the 23rd because that seems logical. But again, if the story says, oh, something happens in episode 2, which is tied to November the 23rd, you put it on November the 23rd. But we know it's going to be around about that time, obviously, because November the 23rd. But we were told that, or I think the press release said, we would get it here on BBC One, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody else outside the UK would get it at the same time via Disney.
Same time, so there's no delay.
There shouldn't be a delay. No, they should all be. I mean, they wanted. I'm quite right too. They want us all to see it at the same time around the world, so it'd be a global happening.
Mm-hmm.
If outside the UK you're watching on Disney,
It's possible. I may subscribe. I don't know. I do have friends I could visit if they're going to watch it.
yeah,
That's just it. Or maybe one of my kids has it and I don't know yet. I could find out.
yeah,
It's
that's
just
fine.
of course, I don't know if I want to pay for ad free or with ads. It's just a lot for one television show because
Yeah,
I'm not a Marvel person. I'm not a Star Wars person. I'm not a Star Trek person. I like your classic British science fiction. I like
yeah,
Doctor Who. I like Blake's.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
like Red Dwarf.
yeah.
I haven't been into Space 1999 yet.
Oh right, okay,
I've had a small taste of the early Avengers recently.
okay.
A,
I
a,
love the
rea-
Avengers.
a
Yeah.
reactor that I watch has just started the Avengers,
Okay.
and I'm watching because she's I love watching it. When you see someone watch something you like for the first time, and you go, young people can like our stuff. To see someone 30 years old see their first black and white show, and it's an unearthly child.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and she
Yeah.
loves it.
Yeah.
David Tennant was her guy, and all of a sudden, she loves Troughton. Then she cried when he died. She loves Pertwee. Pertwee's her man through all of it. But I mean, she literally cries when the doctors die.
That's a great story, though. But I've always said, as long as your story is solid and it's good, a human being will always engage with it because we like stories. This is
Right.
what I'm a bit worried about, Tal, about some of the later, the modern stuff here, because the story just isn't really there because it's all wham, 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 get it done within 45 minutes, 1 hour, and it's all self-contained usually. And sometimes I just think they forgot you've got to have a story here because I reckon some of the modern stuff will date worse than the original 26-year-old run, because you can watch something now from the 60s or the 70s or even the 80s and you can be entertained by it, as we're showing on our review shows.
Right.
You can be entertained, that you can get something out of it. But it'd be interesting to see how the how the modern shows take now, because we're so far away from their initial start. I don't know.
The modern series is the cup of coffee you'd grab going out the door and drink while you're driving. The classic series, you've gone and got a latte or a cappuccino, and you're
Oh, you're
sitting
posh.
back in your chair, and you just, this is good.
I love that. That's very, very good. Coffee. Yeah.
Oh, you just came up with your chat here on YouTube, informing me with Chester. Uh,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
the new series is rushed. The old classic series wasn't rushed,
And yet, production-wise, it was, but it doesn't show, does it? Really?
but even then, there's a dividing line. When John Nathan Turner took over,
Yeah.
it quit being a quintessentially British show for the British to a show that was trying to appeal to the entire world.
Yeah.
That's how we got the tour. You mentioned the tour earlier, because
Oh,
John
yeah,
Nathan Turner was in America early when he should have been at the helm of the first series with Peter Davison. Was no with
Colin.
Baker.
Colin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was trying to sell it to the world. You quit when I think the show lost its specialness when it tried to market to the world instead of marketing to its home.
Do you think that's the danger with the next reiteration coming here,
Yes.
the RTD2 era?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't. He's going to be worried about. He never had to worry about the American market primarily
No.
before.
Yeah.
Now he's with Disney. Well,
Yeah.
and their primary market and moneymaker is the American market. It's
Mm.
not their biggest market. Disney Plus is bigger in other areas, but it's their primary market. It's the one they're making them all the most money off of.
Wow.
So you please the people who pay the bills.
Yeah, but do they? I mean, this is the whole thing at the moment, isn't it? And let's go. Let's have a chat about this because I mean, we've all talked about this before. We're not the only ones to talk about it, but a lot of us as fans really feel that show business is just tip boxing at the moment. It's virtue signaling to a huge degree. And they're sort of preaching at us to say, you will think like this, you will agree with us. So do they care about us? I don't
No,
think they do.
no, they proved that during the COVID lockdown.
Yeah.
One of the big uproars here was there was a talk show host named Ellen DeGeneres,
Oh, yes, yes. We know
and
her,
when
we know over here. Yeah.
she stayed home and she compared being locked up in her mansion as to being in jail.
Please.
Or the Imagine song that they did, Gail Gadot started, and all the celebrities were
Oh, I didn't
singing.
watch that nonsense. I can't be doing with that. It makes me sick.
I know, and here, there were restaurants that were shut down and destroyed right across the street from the catering tent at movie productions during the height of COVID.
Yeah.
They couldn't sell food, but here's Hollywood producing a movie with their exemption.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. Yeah. I
and
mean,
we had a lot of the uh, governors and high placed people. The rules were not for them; they were for us. But I
it
live
was,
I live in a very conservative state,
do you? Right.
and so we weren't affected nearly as strongly as a lot of states.
Yeah.
Now, I never missed a day's work at all,
No, no.
but I work outside by myself. So,
Yeah.
but my daughter works in a restaurant, and they literally had takeout only. They went from a dine-in restaurant
Same
to
here.
curbside.
It was the same here because none of us, I mean, none of us knew what was happening, did we? We were all being guided by these things that were coming from wherever across the world. It was the same here.
It,
Yeah, I mean, when we're looking towards the new version of Doctor Who, both the Tennant and then the Ncuti Gatwa era, what are your hopes for this new era?
I really want Shooty. I want him to succeed.
Yeah,
Uh, I don't know if I like him changing costumes every week. I'm used to my doctor being the same.
yeah.
I don't mind him being a black man at all.
Well, it's not an issue for us now.
It's not for a lot of us. For some people, it is. But I
Yeah.
live in a city that's half black anyway. It doesn't
See,
matter.
that's the difference between America and Britain because we don't
Mhm.
have the same history, of course, which a lot of
Right.
Americans tend to forget. Our British history is totally different to American history, and it was actually the Brits that stopped all the slavery and all that sort of stuff. But people forget that or aren't aware of it. So, from our point of view in Britain, there's a lot more tolerance when it comes to that. to an extent. Okay, things are on a shoestring right now because it's all political now and it's all very odd. But usually in the normal world, it wouldn't have mattered. I mean, years ago, JNT said after the show had gone that it was a black if black actors had been more around more, then in the 90s we would have had definitely have had a black Doctor Who. So it's not a big issue. I don't know why.
No, I don't.
The
I don't
news
think
make
that
an
will be a
issue
bad.
of it.
We have black entertainers everywhere. I
Yeah, it's
mean,
been the same here. Yeah, yeah. It
our
doesn't matter.
sports heroes. You know,
Yeah,
that's not the. It's just you talked about being different. I grew up in the North, and I live in the very deep South now,
right.
and they still have cultural
Issues.
differences on that. One
Yeah,
group, I mean, one group swears they're not racist, and they're as much or more. They're just quiet about it. It's a trip, but it's change. Without change, we can't have tomorrow, and
correct.
it'll
Well,
change.
that's it. Yeah.
Judy's going to do well. I like the images I've seen for the new TARDIS interior.
Right.
I think they could do some fun things, like when the cloister bell rings, instead of it all being white, the whole background could flash color. You
You
know,
never know. You never
I
know.
would like something like that. I think she's going to be a good companion. I don't want a love interest at all. I never liked a love interest. I
No,
feel
I'm with you. Yeah.
Missy described it best when she pointed out to Clara, "We're the puppy."
Mm,
That's what
mm,
we are to them. Time we cannot share any experiences except today with the Doctor. He's
yeah.
got too much of a background. I You can have a good time with some young friends, but you wouldn't want to be around just 19-year-olds for very long.
Oh God, no, they'd drive you mad, wouldn't they?
See?
Oh, wouldn't they? Because they're
Yeah,
so
that's
confused and arrogant and up their own bums and pretentious, and they don't even know whether they're coming or going. I mean, it's just, oh no, you couldn't be doing that all day.
Tom Baker said something similar to that in his speech when he was talking about the humans in the Ark in space. Remember?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But we're self-centered and pretentious race. So
Well, it's
and
true.
he,
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's true.
it's fun. But I want him to do well. I I think he can fit in. I don't know how they're going to pass him off in historicals. I really don't, because he's going to stand out like a sore thumb.
Well, not in BBC world.
No,
to be
no,
quite honest, they're quite happy to rewrite history.
I've
And we,
seen Anne Boleyn.
oh, don't. Well, if that people. Well, you're the only one that did, to be quite honest, because nobody over here really watched
I
it.
didn't
They've
watch it.
done
I
it in
saw the
Doctor Who
images.
before, haven't they? In the Moffat's time, they had to do a little bit of that because all this stuff started to come in during then. So they've done a little bit of that before. Oh, ye olde London was the same as modern London. Well, it wasn't. We all know it wasn't.
Right, but it's I don't know. But you have to tell stories that the audience appeal to the audience, but you need to leave a little bit of truth left in the story. But Shooty's going to work. He's going to go out in space. He's going to run down corridors. I hope he doesn't lean as much on the sonic screwdriver.
Oh, they're bound to. It's a marketing device. I mean, we've already had the thing produced now, and the high street version's available. So
It's the magic wand. Why
yeah, well,
J
that's all it is. Yeah.
why JNT got rid of it in the first place? It was a magic wand.
Yeah, yeah, and yet he knew as well the marketing potential of that thing, and it didn't matter because it was affecting the story and the character, so we got rid of it anyway. And now we've had umpteen versions of the thing just so they can make a toy of it.
Yes, I know. Like I said, I have 5 or 6 of them. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's
I know
great
you
for
have.
people like yourself that are cosplaying because I quite like it when I see, especially the young ones, going to a convention and they're messing around with this thing, trying to open doors or whatever.
I
That's really
always wanted to take mine to a party and go in advance and program someone's stereo, but I never
yeah.
did.
You'd probably get arrested for that now, to be honest, if you took something like that out as a weapon.
What is that?
What is that? Bing! That. So, what else are you hoping for
Well,
in the? Are you?
I want her to be a one-season companion. Nothing personal
Ooh.
against her. I want someone who's not from modern day Earth
Oh, you want a history, do you?
or
Yeah.
future.
Oh, like Leela.
Or and again, it doesn't have to be human. They can up image now. Um, I would like to see him Romana back.
Would you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh, always thought it should have been Romana instead of Jodie. I
Yeah.
really
What,
do.
getting her own series, you mean?
I could have introduced Romana to replace the Doctor for a season to find out with one very short, simple storyline. The Doctor's in trouble. He sends the TARDIS for help. Who does the TARDIS go get? Romana.
Nice. Yeah,
She
it's
spends
nice.
a year. She spends a season rescuing the Doctor.
Yeah.
Then you
Yeah.
could have found out if a woman Time Lord works and got a new series out of it.
Oh, but you know what though? We know a woman Time Lord works because we had
Sure.
Romana. We had the
Right.
Rani.
Yeah, and they're both respected and loved.
Well, absolutely loved. The two characters are absolutely loved. The three actresses that played absolutely loved. So we knew it
Mhm.
worked. You know, we
Right.
absolutely knew that worked. I mean, you know, a Romana spin-off show would be just Doctor Who in without the name, wouldn't it? Really, because you've got your Time Lord with the time vehicle
Right.
traveling around getting into mischief.
That's right. It's the same thing. But again, he could have sent the TARDIS for help, and then you could have had her for a year, and it would have been a great story.
Yeah,
And everybody wanted Romana to come back anyway, or at least most of us did.
yeah, yeah. Well, we'll
I
have to
don't
wait
know.
and see.
The new fans might not know who she is.
Well, do you know what? Tough, because they can go back and look them up and watch those fabulous episodes from the old days, the original series, which is just brilliant. I always say, and we're proven out to a certain point as well. If you go back and you look at those stories, and you're from the modern era, because they are stories, you will be engaged, you will be entertained, you will see the characters. I can't see why anybody wouldn't go back and watch them and not get something out of it. They're just brilliant.
I think 20 to 30% of the people who found New Who went back and discovered Classic Who.
I hope so.
And a
I
lot
hope
of
so.
them have found out they like Classic Who better. But you cannot give them an unearthly child to start with.
No, it's a shame.
You got to have the charisma of Tom Baker or something like that, or the mystery of Sylvester McCoy's era
Mm.
to start them with. Because I really like McCoy. Well, I don't have. Yes, I love John Pertwee, but my favorite Doctor is the one I'm watching today.
Okay. Yes.
Because there are periods where I watch Peter Davidson for 3 months, or,
Yeah.
or I like Colin Baker.
Yeah. Me too. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have
Great
no
doctor.
problem with anything but the Twin Dilemma, and even that's good to a point. Uh,
He's brilliant in it.
I love Sylvester, the mystery of Sylvester McCoy.
Yeah.
To me, only the Ronnie story is the only weak story in his entire run. I like Delta and the Bannerman. I don't
Uh,
care. I like Stubby K. You know who Stubby K? The
I know
cadet.
Stubby K. Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
saw him in Little Abner as a
Oh, did
kid.
you?
You
I
see
bet he
the
was
film?
brilliant, wasn't he?
He was marrying Sam.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
seeing him singing, dancing, or Guys and Dolls. So
Guys
I
and
know
dolls,
it's
of
from
course.
the Technicolor movies from the 50s. So wow, an American in Doctor Who. So that it hit home right away. To me, the bad rendition of the 50s music was the worst.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But I liked the story. And but the mystery of Sylvester McCoy was really great.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it grew and it grew. Who is he? Who is he? Uh, what Carpnell Master Plan was what they called that, right?
Well, it's what the fans called it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Andrew's come back saying there wasn't really a big master plan in, but they were too busy doing the show. But they had an outline.
And the series ended with some of its best stuff.
Oh yeah, oh totally. When you look at
So
the season 26, that unmade season 27 would have been whoosh. I
yeah,
still say as well that for here in Britain, season 26 would have suited it back on its slot on a Saturday night rather than where we
right.
got it. It
Yes,
should have been on a
I
Saturday night.
I followed its schedule. I'm doing a series of videos on the myth of classic Doctor Who.
Wow,
And
brilliant.
I just finished an old man in a young man's body. which would be Peter Davison.
Davison, yeah.
So the next one will be curly, coarse, colorful, and he wears a cat pin.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm going to be going, but in Peter Davidson's slot, it was on Mondays and Tuesdays. It was on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. It was on Thursdays and Fridays.
Well, do you know why?
No.
Well, the reason for that was the BBC was trying to find out what days work better with the British public for their up-and-coming planned soap opera EastEnders,
which is still on.
which is still going with reduced audiences, but it's still going. And eventually, EastEnders started on a Tuesday and a Thursday because they also had to take in where ITV was putting Coronation Street, which traditionally back in those days was a Monday and a Wednesday. So Doctor Who was the tester. That's why it was on all these annoying nights.
Right.
And because Doctor Who performed magnificently in whatever time schedule in the week they got, it was always getting between 7 and 8 and a bit million.
Right.
They went, aha. And it worked for them for years because EastEnders started drawing in, millions of people, millions and millions. And then it got it's got Christmas Day things. But that's the reason the Peter Davison era was tested on those bizarre days.
It moved. It moved around in the viewing
It
figures.
certainly did. Yeah, it certainly did.
So for John Pertwee, I compared his first era to the labors of Hercules.
Really?
Well, he had 15 stories before he was able to leave Earth. Hercules had 12 labors. So he had to prove himself and redeem himself before he was freed. So then he was freed from exile.
He was.
And then I had Tom Baker, the horror era, and the explorer era. Hartnell was the creation myth.
Yeah.
Patrick Troughton was the definition of the inner character of the Doctor. Well, I'm working my way through the classic Doctors right now, and I have a title for Colin Baker. That's as much as I have.
Well, it's great that I love the fact that you're going through all this, all the original. We're doing it on Who's Views Reviews as well. We're celebrating the 60th anniversary year by doing all those revisits to the original episodes. We've got the newer stuff coming up very soon as well. But it's just brilliant to rewatch them again because nothing else is really happening at the moment with this anniversary year. We're getting bits and pieces coming through as things that could possibly be happening here now. But we've had to make our own. And thank God for YouTube, and thank God for all of us being able to do this. Your YouTube channel is just called TARDIS Spider, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I've had a YouTube channel for 4.5 years now.
Well done. Yeah, congratulations.
I've grown up over 400 subscribers, and I'm slowly but surely gathering steam. You've helped, by the way. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Yeah.
I have found out that the best way to grow your channel is to get out there.
Yeah.
And in the last year, I've started getting in the chats, and I met you that way, and I know several other YouTubers.
Yeah.
And I finally got on Facebook in the last year.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's a nightmare now, but we won't talk about that. It's just
I've only had a computer for 4.5 years. I bought a computer to make Doctor Who videos.
Yeah.
I stream, like I said, so I watch YouTube on television.
Yeah.
If I comment, I have to get up and go to the other room, turn the computer on, and make a comment. You can't comment on the TV. But I watched videos and said, no, that's wrong. I can make a better video than that. So I went out and bought a computer, and I know how to make videos and buy stuff on Amazon.
I love it all because it means that we're all in contact with each other all around the world, and we're chatting and we're sharing our love for our show, our hopes, our fears, our concerns, our joys. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Listen, mister, we have spoken for quite a bit. It's been lovely to catch up with you for this lovely chit chat with TARDIS Spider. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much. I have had a grand time.
Yeah, and I know we'll get you back on at some point as well. We might even try and get you up at 3 o'clock in the morning again to come up with some updates for the breakfast show.
I enjoy it. Can I say just one thing that I close all my videos with?
Yeah, say everything you like.
A child cannot have a favorite book if they do not have one. Give a child a book today. Over 70% of inner city homes have no library. I don't mean they don't even have a short stack of books. These children are growing up without books.
Yeah.
There's lots of ways to share. Please share books. That was
Here,
it.
here. I'll give you a round of applause for that. Well done. I don't know how we can. I'll be allowing that to happen. I grew up with books, so I've still got some of them here in the loft.
I do
I don't know
too.
how it's happening.
From my
Yeah, I
youth.
could never imagine a life without books. It's a
No,
shame, isn't it?
it's give them a Doctor Who book. Give them a Doctor Who comic book. Give them, even a comic book is a book.
Yeah, well, you've got to read, haven't you? It's
That's
a book
right.
with pictures. Oh, well, listen, mate, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate it. It's always a joy to talk to you and always a joy to see you. Yes, thank you for watching
Thank
us as
you
well. The chit chat between myself and TARDIS Spider here.
for
He's
an
going to
hour and
wave
a
to you in
half.
a second as well. He's going to, keep waving to them. Please like the video, please share the video, and please subscribe to us here at Who Views. And also go over to TARDIS Spider if you haven't already and subscribe to him as well. Keep an eye on our playlist. Keep ring that bell actually for all the material that we are going to be bringing out between now and of course the end of the year and into the future, so you get notified of all the wonderful things we're going to be doing on Who's Views. Until we see you again, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you again to TARDIS Spider, and bye bye.
Good night.